The first, cracking down on illegal immigration at the border. Second is deporting felons, not families. The president's actions focus on deporting people who threaten national security. And third, accountability in the form of criminal background checks and paying taxes. Well, Congressman Bradley Byrne joins us now in the studio to talk about the president's actions today. Thank you for being here. Once again, you always join us.
Good to be here.
During big events like this.
Yeah.
Now, we spoke on the phone yesterday, and you told me that you thought if the president came close to talking about amnesty, that it would be received very negatively. Well, let's hear the president respond to that in tonight's address. Listen.
I know some of the critics of this action call it amnesty. Well, it's not. Amnesty is the immigration system we have today. Millions of people who live here without paying their taxes or playing by the rules, while politicians use the issue to scare people and whip up votes at election time.
Okay, your chance to react to the president here.
Well, we just had an election, he's right. And he said, all of my policies are on the ballot, all of them.
Mm-hmm. He said that before the election, right?
Before the election. And the election went very harshly against him. Here's one of his policies. And so the people have spoken. And the people said, we want the Congress and the president to work together to solve problems. Not for him to haul off and do a political stunt, which is mainly what this was. Mm-hmm. Because if you listen to what he really said, he said, I'm going to enforce border security. He should have been doing that for years. But what he really said was, he said, I'm going to give a 3-year reprieve to all of these families, people who are here illegally.
So you consider that amnesty?
Yeah, for those 3 years, it's amnesty for those people. They're here illegally. And the rule of law means something. It's his job as the President of the United States to enforce the law. And he said for the next 3 years as to these people, I'm not going to enforce the law. That's a type of amnesty.
Now, the president also issued a challenge to you and to other members of Congress. Let's listen to that.
To those members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer. Pass a bill. I want to work with both parties to pass a more permanent legislative solution.
Okay, the president often says this, that, Congress doesn't do anything, they never pass anything. Your response?
We passed 2 bills that dealt with this in the last day of July before we came home for the August work period. And the president didn't say anything about them other than, if I get them, I'm going to veto them. His leadership in the Senate wouldn't even take them up in the Senate. So we have acted on border security, on dealing with people who are undocumented. He just didn't like what we did. The truth of the matter is that this takes interactive process to happen. Go back and remember the movie Lincoln, the Steven Spielberg movie, where he goes to the Congress to get the Congress to pass the 13th Amendment. President Lincoln engaged the Congress over and over and over again. This president stays in the White House, delivers set speeches like this, challenges the Congress, and then he wonders why nothing gets done. And the people of the United States have seen that, and the votes 2 weeks ago showed that that's not what they want. They want him to get out of the White House and work with us to pass laws. What he did tonight was just a stunt.
Now, your office issued a statement tonight in your name. It said executive action from a lame duck president is entirely the wrong approach. So what is the right approach? The
right approach is for the president and the leadership of both houses of the Congress and both parties in Congress to sit down and work this out. Start with border security. He talked about it tonight. We passed a bill, and the Republicans in the House passed one in August. All right, there's a point where we've got some consensus. Let's pass that bill first. And that lays the groundwork for us to make progress on the rest of this. He talked about visas. I think we should make some progress on visas. But we in the Congress are not going to vote to give amnesty to people who are here illegally. So let's understand, let's get the border secured, let's make it clear we're not going to give amnesty, and then let's get to work on everything in between and fix this problem. Not by him pulling a political stunt like he did tonight, not by us trying to use a bunch of political rhetoric. Getting down and doing the hard work that the American people told us 2 weeks ago they expect us to do.
Congressman Bradley Byrne, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.
All right.